Hi guys! We are live on Facebook. Welcome. We are also going live on Instagram. I've got Katie here with me from Milk Bar. So we are waiting for people to join, and we're also trying to get Instagram up and running. It looks like we've got some, Wi-Fi connection thing going on. So I might have to do the awkward thing that I tell you guys I have to do and get really up front in front of the camera and check that.
Are you on our Wi-Fi?
I don't know. That's what I need to check. I did it on here. And I also, behind the scenes today, you guys have Caroline is back, one of my interns. And then also Jennifer Collins is shooting some photos for us. So if we kind of pull them in at any point, that's what's happening. Welcome. I see some people are starting to join. We're letting everybody else trickle in. And then I'm going to try and get Instagram up and running here because we're having some connectivity issues, of course. This is the beauty of going live, you guys. Let's see. We're going to try this again on Instagram. Welcome, everybody that's joining. We're so excited to have you. You know what? I might just turn my Wi-Fi off for my phone.
Yeah.
Let's do that and see if we can get Instagram up and running here. All right. Checking connection. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are getting Instagram up and running. Hi guys on Instagram. We are joining a little bit late up there, so we're doing the dual screen thing again. We've got Instagram on top, Facebook right here, and we are just waiting for people to join. Oh, you look beautiful, Katie.
So do you. I'm so glad we dressed alike for this.
I know, it's kind of funny.
Not on purpose.
That's happened with almost everyone this week.
Has it really?
That we've either been in pink, like Liz and I were in pink together.
Oh,
I was
so
in
funny.
Navy with Elizabeth. It's kind of funny how it works. So, all right, we've got everyone joining us. Hi, everyone on Instagram.
Hi.
Hello, Facebook. We've got both going here today, and we're going to kick it off and get started. So welcome. I'm here with Katie. We're at Milk Bar, so you might recognize this beautiful wallpaper behind me. It's all over Instagram, and it's Pink Me Palm Perfect, so I'm really excited to be here today. So we're literally in the nail salon, you guys. So if you see people coming in, there's people right over there getting their nails done and pedicures. Hopefully we don't drive them crazy.
Yeah, we've already warned them. They've been warned.
Good. All right, everyone. Well, welcome, Katie.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Thank goodness. I don't know what I was thinking doing these lives every single day this week. We did get a little break yesterday, but it's National Business Women's Week, you guys. That's why we're going live every day this week. We're celebrating women business owners, and we're just kind of bringing some of their knowledge and thoughts and everything straight to you guys here so that we can just share the love. That's what this week is all about. So, Katie, I'd love if we could kick off and just share a little bit about you and your journey, because you haven't always been in this business.
No, this is still very new for me.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. So I don't know how much wisdom I have to offer, but I'll do my best. So about me and just a little personal background. So I'm from a small town outside of Athens, Georgia. I grew up on a farm, and we were doing farm to table before it was a thing. So I kind of grew up, being very interested in non-toxic skincare, and especially the way, I grew up eating. So that's always been a passion for me. And some of the questions you had asked me to answer, I went to college at Clemson University. Still pouting about last weekend.
Oh my gosh, can't even talk about it.
So bad. And then after college, so I majored in political science and economics, and my plan was to go to law school.
Okay.
And my senior year, I just decided I want to go out and make money. I don't want to incur 4 years of debt. And I'm so glad I took that path. I went into medical device sales. I worked for 2 Fortune 500s, and I worked for a startup, and then I transitioned into healthcare software sales. And before I started Milk Bar, I was still working for Oracle. So we did a lot of the build out during my maternity leave, and
which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend
the timing
it.
of everything for you has just been
a wee bit
crazy.
stressful.
Yeah.
But it's all, worked out for the best.
Yeah. And I'm seeing lots of people joining here and just hearing Katie telling her story. I mean, if you can't tell already, she's kind of pivoted in where you were in your business, but stuck to kind of what she's always known and been passionate about. And that's something I've seen a lot this week is that people really are following their passions.
Come in.
Yeah. Like we said, we're right here.
We may be interacting with clients.
Yeah, but they're following their passions and they're starting their own business. And that's what women business owners really are starting to do. So it's kind of cool. So I'd love if you're joining to introduce yourselves, kind of share your business or who you are. We want to know who's kind of behind the lens on the other side of things because it can be kind of a lonely world sitting out here by
I see
ourselves.
Ashley just joined.
Yay. Oh my gosh, this is so fun, you guys. So anyway, yeah, come on through. Yeah, we've got people here in the salon. And so, Katie, I love the part of your story about starting out and now tell us about Milk Bar because I feel like it's kind of coming full circle with how you grew up.
It definitely is. So, first of all, a lot of people don't know what the name actually stands for and the meaning behind it. So, when I started concepting this business, initially, for the past 2 years, I've looked at franchises and some exercise concepts, different things. And I just couldn't find anything that was a perfect fit that would be something I would be very passionate about. And I started concepting Milk Bar, and I knew that I wanted to have, organic skincare, non-toxic polishes. I wanted to have a set standard to be at least 5 free or better. And now we're actually 6 free or better. Yay. So we always are striving to improve. And most of the products we use as far as, the skincare products contain coconut milk or coconut oil. And so that's where the milk part comes from. It's spelled alternatively. And even the font is alternative because our concept is alternative. Yeah. So I really wanted everything to really reflect that. Yeah. And I didn't want it to sound just like, another nail salon.
Which it's clearly not. I mean, you guys can even see, and the camera's so backwards, I'm like, which way do I need to lean to show you guys this? But I mean, you can even see from the wallpaper and just kind of,
and this is a new line of artwork we're carrying from Lauren Novell. So
nice.
And I think it's important to point out, we try to support as many local vendors as possible, especially women. So,
yeah, that's awesome. That's perfect for this week. And thank you guys for starting to introduce yourselves. Hi there from Greenville, South Carolina. Oh, that's my hometown. On Instagram, which Instagram's a little far away from us. I'm sure you can kind of tell from the angle. So if I can't read your name, sorry about that. And then Val, you're a realtor and love running my own business. That's awesome. Welcome, you guys. This is great. So the topic that I thought of to speak with you about is Instagram. And you've done such an amazing job growing your Instagram following.
Thank you.
I have a little cheat sheet back here, and according to that, you are at 5,568 followers today on Instagram. And you guys, she just launched this business on April 12th of this year. So, I mean, if you think about that growth, that's pretty awesome. So today we're going to chat about Instagram and how you grow that for your new business, whether you're staring at a blank slate and you haven't started your Instagram yet, or whether you're kind of revamping your Instagram and just getting it up and running and really dedicating it to your business. Because I know a lot of people who kind of take their personal, and once their business starts to grow, they start to grow their Instagram. So that's what we'll be talking about today. So I'd love to kind of just start out and ask you, why Instagram? I know that you started before you opened your business. Correct. Give me kind of that history and thought process.
So that's a really good question, and not many people have asked me that so specifically. And it was for 2 reasons. Number one, I knew that if I put it out there in the universe, I knew I planned to do this, but it was very difficult for me to pull the trigger. Yeah. And
it's a scary thing to do.
It's very scary for
Raise
anybody.
Your hand emojis.
I mean, even if you are starting a new business, or maybe, transitioning your business into offering new services or new products, you know, it can be intimidating. And I just knew that if I put it out there, I would have to follow through. So that was a big reason for it. And then the second reason was just, you know, a lot of businesses do pre-launch marketing and billboards and magazine ads. And I thought, well, why not do that with social media? And I knew I wanted to be first to market. So that was really the two big reasons for doing it. And I would do it all over again. I recommend that to anybody that's starting a business. Get your Instagram page up and running, your Facebook. Make sure when you pick a name that it's something that is easy for people to find. That was another reason I picked Milk Bar and spelled it that way. Because there aren't many other concepts with that spelling and name. And also, you know, if you really have plans to expand and do something long term, you've got to pick names that are going to match what your trademark is, if that's the way you want to go. So, you know, it's not something you want to just blindly jump into. You need to be super strategic about it.
It's almost a good way to do market research, it sounds like. Right? Just searching the name that you're thinking of on Instagram.
That actually brings a good point up. So for all of the people that have not officially opened their business or even deciding what you want to name your business and what you want your social media handles to be, there's a government website database called TESS. TESS, and you really need to search for other trademarks before you come up with a name.
Because that would stink to get rolling and like put money and time and effort into something. Just
signage, marketing, collaterals. So that was the first thing I did.
So I think about the blank slate of starting your Instagram, and it's really scary because what's your first post and like what are the next few after and what do you want your feed to look like? And I think I was kind of chatting with you about this before, but I think it would have been really easy for Katie to like just pop up a bunch of like nail art on her feed and be like, look at these cool nails, and then like have not a real tie or really show kind of this like beautiful vibe that you're creating. So tell me kind of how you decided what to post.
So in the beginning, I thought that my aesthetic was going to be much more like cool colors, like a lot of blacks, grays, neutral colors, natural elements. I was 9 months pregnant when we technically broke ground and we were building a house. So my creative juices were a little bit maxed out. I made a lot of purchases that ended up not working out. So if you see Craigslist ads, that's what's up with that. But you know, my aesthetic changed, and I feel like Instagram almost helped me develop it more as time went on, because I started realizing like, okay, here's the target market, here's the age group that's following me. They're younger than what I anticipated, and are they going to be bored with those type of, you know, natural elements and decor? Is that just going to feel, you know, too much like another like spa in a hotel? And so I decided to go the route of doing something more fun and carefree. And, you know, I did a lot of posts that I thought would correlate to that vibe of having, you know, a place to go to that you can have time and kick back and relax and feel like you're on vacation.
Which clearly is working for you, I should say. And
I don't feel like I'm on vacation, but everybody else does.
Yes, when they come here, it's totally got a vacation vibe. And I'm seeing more and more people joining. So if you guys are just joining, I'm here with Katie at Milk Bar. We're chatting about Instagram. Feel free to introduce yourselves. I see Melissa with Blue Root. Welcome. Hi, guys.
There's Maria.
Hi, Laura. So everyone just kind of introduce yourselves and ask questions along the way. I don't think I've said that yet.
Please ask questions.
Send us questions. We can either answer it in the moment if it pertains to what we're talking about, or I've got my awesome intern Caroline back here and she will help feed us some questions at the end. So send through your questions as you get them. So jumping back to talking about Instagram and your feed and how you built that, I think that's so interesting that helped kind of define what we have going on behind us here. You've done some kind of different things as far as being able to get the Instagram photo and also having your customers want to share their photos.
Yeah.
So tell me about, your wall and some of the other things that you've done.
So my goal, and it really wasn't something I thought about when I first did the architectural renderings with our contractor and architect, but as I was getting more of a following and really like bringing my audience in to, give feedback, and people would DM me. Like I even did that with light fixtures, and the first set I picked out, like nobody liked them, and I'm glad I didn't use them. They just wouldn't have fit our aesthetic. So I think it's really important to engage your followers, because those are going to be your customers. And I really like the idea of my customers and clients having, a little bit of a say in the direction of the business, because it really builds that brand loyalty. So as I realized more and more how important Instagram and Facebook were, I just thought, well, this needs to be the most Instagrammable nail salon. So I had that hashtag sign built. The name of the company is Name Glow. They're based out of Brooklyn. They're wonderful to work with.
It's so cool, guys. It's like a pink neon sign. It's really
maybe
cool.
We can get a shot of it at the end.
We'll have to spin the camera and show
I just made sure that the decor, that every corner of the salon was something that would photograph really well, because your photographs that people post on social media, I personally think can make or break you. I mean, if something looks dirty or, unkept, then people aren't going to want to come there. And so that was really important.
To me. And I think people, you guys tell me too, who are tuning in here, but before I go to eat at a restaurant, I look them up on Instagram and Facebook to kind of see what the entrees are that they're serving, and to see the drinks, and to get the vibe of the inside. So, I'm sure people are searching, here too. And if they kind of see the same brand carried out through every Instagram post, it's clear that it's a fun place to be, and it's, your nail art is really cool. So I think that's so important. So really think about, you guys, what you're putting on your Instagram and what you have available for your followers and customers to kind of show you off to all of their followers. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, and that actually brings up a good point. Of what we're trying to do next. The technology aspect has been difficult to figure out, but we want to have a mani cam that is self-operated. So because people love getting their pictures of their manicures, especially, if they've done fun nail art. So we're trying to figure that out, and maybe even a self-operating camera, like a setup similar to this, where people can really
got our diva ring light back here, or my Kim Kardashian light, I like to call it. But it's kind of like on the Emmys and stuff, like the mani cam.
Exactly. I actually reached out to that company. The price point was not digestible. So
I'm sure that could get a little crazy.
It can get pricey. So, it's good to try to figure this stuff out and how you can do it without investing a lot of money.
I feel like you kind of burst on the scene too when you started your Instagram, and you worked a lot with local influencers and got other people in the community really involved in what you were doing. So tell me a little bit about your influencer strategy, if you will, and how you decided who to work with, and all of that.
So one of the first people that I reached out to was Vanita Aspen. I don't know if she's joined, but Vanita is absolutely wonderful. Awesome. She has worked with almost everybody in Charleston at this point, and she's worked with brands on a national level too. I can't think of who off the top of my head, Jack Rogers and then some others. So, and I just really liked her page, her appeal. She's very fun loving, and her pictures definitely demonstrate that, and it's all very authentic. That's who she is as a person.
Her smile alone.
One of the happiest people I've ever met. So, she was the first person I worked with. And then honestly, it had a domino effect. Like that helped, picking the right first partners definitely can have a domino effect and help you, reach out to other people that are within their circle. And I have found the community of bloggers and influencers here to be super supportive, very helpful. You know, a lot of women helping women.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate with that. And I think part of it too is there's really nothing else like us in this market. So that certainly has made it easier to get people to work with us. But I always tell people reach out to me all the time and they're like, how are you getting these influencers in? And you know, I just tell them like it has to make sense for the influencer blogger
it has to match up on
like,
both sides.
you know, they're building their own brands as well. Yeah. And you want to be mindful and respectful of that and discuss expectations in advance, make sure you're on the same page, and you know that if there's something that you want as an end result, make it very clear for both parties.
And do you have an agreement or like a request or anything kind of pre-built that you're sending to these influencers?
Or is it? Don't. Okay. I've been really fortunate in that I have not had to do that. Yeah. We are just now hiring a PR firm, which I'm just now doing. Yeah. I've been doing all of it.
Isn't that
pretty
crazy,
much
you guys?
myself. And I will say, looking back, I should have pulled the trigger on that sooner.
Okay.
I wish I had. Yeah. I was being, you know, a little bit stubborn on that and just thought, you know, well, I know my brand better than anybody else, but having a PR partner definitely helps you be more strategic.
And it's hard when you're starting a business too, because there's so much to invest in. So
much.
You don't know, you know, where to put your dollars, and you can't invest in everything all at once, like your website, your building, your social media. I mean, there's so much.
That's a good point. So, for me personally, print advertising has just had zero benefit, and you know, I wanted it to because I really like traditional print. I like picking up a magazine or a publication and seeing something on that glossy paper. But for us, I mean, and maybe it's just because we've been so successful with the social media, that's where the majority of people find us, that and through referrals.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. Marketing wise, is it working with influencers? Is it just kind of, you know, having your floral wall and having other people spread the word for you? Is it, you know, other accounts that have just stumbled in and posted about you? What do you feel like has been the best?
Honestly, it's been the repost from our clients because so many people say, you know, we heard about you on Instagram, and then if we have time, we dive deeper, especially when I'm here. I ask everyone because I'm curious. We probably should track it, but you know, and I'll say like, oh, did you see a blogger post? And sometimes they've seen that, but they've also seen like 3 of their friends.
Right.
And so I feel like it really, it's a mix of the two. Yeah. You know?
So keep that in mind, guys. Make sure that you have something, a space, or if you're service-based, or if you're a photographer, make sure you have something. You know, we were just with my sister-in-law doing wedding dress shopping, and Emily Kotarski had the cutest, like she said yes and designed her dress sign. That's so Instagrammable. So think of ways that you can really be Instagrammable. Even if you don't have such a cute shop or something. So I think that's really important.
It is, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, you can do backdrops with wallpaper. You can build your own backdrop. I paid Elaine from Frampton's to do our flower wall. Just for me, I didn't want to spend the time, and they did a wonderful job. But there are a lot of things that you can do for, you know, a smaller investment.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep that in mind. And everyone who's joining, welcome. I'm here with Katie. We're in Milk Bar.
And Lindsay.
I see everyone joining. This is so fun, you guys. So send us questions as you are joining. Let us know anything you have for Katie, whether it be on Instagram, which we're talking about, or be about being a woman business owner. Feel free to send those questions in. And also, Facebook lives forever. So ask questions on there and we can get back to you. And Instagram will live for 24 hours. So, oh, hi, Lindsay. Yeah, say hello. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hey.
It's kind of funny. And we've got both Instagram and Facebook going at the same time. So we're kind of looking up for Instagram.
That's why our eyes are darting.
Like bouncing back and forth between everything. So, Katie, you're now at over 5,000 followers on Instagram, which you guys, like, can we get like a kudos round of clap? Because that is amazing. just opened in April, so pretty cool. So, you know, sometimes I hear from clients, oh my gosh, I've finally hit 5,000, or I've finally hit 3,000 or 10,000, whatever the number may be, and my engagement has dropped, or I'm struggling. Tell me kind of what you've seen as you've quickly kind of grown your following.
So I have noticed, I feel like that happened when we had 4,000 followers.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that's also, I mean, Instagram's always changing. And I sold software, so I do have an understanding of how to research the algorithms, how that works, how to use it to your advantage. And, you know, I don't know if it was because Instagram changed their algorithm in the summer, or
it changed.
And I definitely saw a dip, like, you know, photos that I knew would typically get 250 likes were getting like 100 likes. And I even always ask my friends, and my husband, he gets really tired of this, but I'm like, pull up your feed, see like how long it takes before we show up, or I look at it from my personal, and I will notice like he'll see a post, for example, that just shows up in his feed, but it's something we did 3 days ago. So Megan just said, give me all the tips. And she's one of my good friends and has really started to expand her brand. And these things, you know, are, a lot of it is stuff I learned along the way. But what I always tell clients and people that are, you know, are like super fangirls is to turn on post notifications. And I try to get my friends too as well, just so they're liking and commenting on photos as soon as we post them.
And we said this on Monday with Liz at Charleston Weekender, and I'm just going to say it again. But you guys, if you're seeing your friends' businesses or even their personal pages pop up in your feed, take that 1 second and double click it. It really means the world to someone just to get that extra like, and just to get a little bit of extra love. And they've put a lot of effort into that. So share the love, everyone. It takes 2 seconds to double tap or click like on Facebook.
For sure. And that's one thing that I'm actually going to be doing, paying some paid consulting with you, because that's where I need help, is organizing my post, figuring out how to be more strategic with my time, because I get caught up in, you know, the aesthetics. Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, and then I just don't post the picture at all because I feel like it's not pretty enough or not interesting enough. Or I can't think of something clever to say. I haven't had a glass of wine yet. It's it definitely would help. And that's something that I'm not doing a good job of. It would definitely help to have, you know, a scheduling app that I use religiously.
And I mean, it's hard too, because especially in a place like this with beautiful manicures happening all the time, and nail art, it's a mix of real-time content, so things that you want to show off in that moment, and a mix of things that you can probably save and then post in advance. So it's hard to get a good blend, but I mean, gosh, you guys, if you can just block time each month, even like an hour at the very beginning of the month or the last week before a month begins, and think, okay, what is everything that's going on this week? What do I want to post? What do I already have? What do I need to capture? It takes a lot of stress off. Like, we don't need to make social media so stressful.
And that is, and for me, I mean, I'll admit I don't always enjoy it because it's exhausting. And, you know, especially if I haven't planned for it and really thought things out, it feels like a lot of pressure, because this actually is a good segue into one of the other topics. My posts do better at specific times of day. And for me personally, like my following, my best time is typically 10 p.m., which has really shocked me, because so many of my friends, you know, follow our business and are moms or have kids, but I guess everyone's in bed on their cell phones.
That's exactly what it is.
So that's our best time to post. And I think it's really important, you know, to a lot of people don't even know how to look at their business insights. And you can only do this if you have a business account. You can't do it with a personal account. But you've got to look at those insights and see, like, you know, what time your followers are most engaged.
And I'll tell everybody, so if you don't have a business account and you are a business, on Instagram, go ahead and switch over. There's lately been a lot of debate of, oh, if I stay personal, will I get more engagement? And if I'm a business, will I get dinged in the algorithm for being a business? I know actually two people who recently, and I think you might be in the pods with me, but I have two people who recently switched to personal.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you guys, it didn't help at all. I'm switching back to business.
Yeah.
So,
and for us, like, we have to remain as a business account because I want people to be able to go to my homepage and click call, email, directions, click on the booking link. I mean, that's all so vital.
Yeah. And it's not intimidating or hard to switch to a business account. All you do is go to your settings, and there's literally a button that says switch to a business account. And then once you are a business and it's kind of a weekend, you've got to get up and running with it. There's a little like bar graph in the upper right-hand corner, and those are your insights on Instagram. Pay attention to those. Check in on those at least once a week. So that's what Katie was saying with the times. It'll tell you when your followers are online and when they're most active. So go look at that. Go look and sort and see which of your posts are the most engaging, meaning the ones where people are actually taking action on them, and sort by reach and see which ones are reaching the most people. Just get to know your business page and what you're doing, because you can plan everything out to a T and then post and nobody will see it.
So true. It's very true.
What about any other things you've noticed with your account as far as like if I post something that's bright and airy versus like colorful versus like what are some other things you've noticed?
I think most people would agree that white or light backgrounds get the most likes, and I think it's because what you're focusing on shows up more in the picture when you have a contrast. For us, that's worked really well. I don't get too hung up on like having, I mean, sometimes I try to do this, but I've gotten less concerned about like having 9 pictures in a row that all have pink or 9 pictures in a row that all have green. Like, it's just too exhausting. And to me, it almost like we're not a blog. If I was a blogger, I probably would be more concerned with that. But as a business, people want to see like, what's trending. And that picture may not always perfectly match the other pictures we've posted. Another good thing, this is a bit off topic, but it's so important to have hashtags that are helping you get the likes and follows that you want. And there's definitely a secret sauce to it. You don't want to use a hashtag like beautiful that has, probably 20 million other hashtags and people that have used it. You want to use something that's a little bit unique. And I always try to use the hashtag that's unique to our brand, which is Milk Manny. And that's something that I'm looking to get trademarked. Because then we have the rights to repost any image that, has that hashtag.
And you guys, a lot of people don't know how to search for hashtags. So to search and make sure you know whether it's got 2 million uses or 1,000, go to your search bar. It's the little magnifying glass on Instagram. Click that and it'll have a search bar up at the top. Literally start typing in that hashtag, and underneath the hashtag, it'll tell you how many people have used it. It also drops down and tells you other hashtags that are very similar to the one that you've typed. So while like Charleston is a good example. So while Charleston may be used millions of times, Charleston, South Carolina with the SC on the end has only been used, like 5,000 times. So make sure, like Katie was saying, that you're using one where you're not just pretty much getting like thrown away in. You're just going to get buried underneath all the people using it. And let's be honest, we're not crazy celebrities. So our picture's not going to show up in that top 9 that it suggests. So make sure you're being strategic about which hashtags to use and searching for those hashtags. And that's another good point. If you're posting something that has a brand in your image, go to that brand's page and see if they have a hashtag like Milk Manny that Katie was talking about, because that is a great way to then get reposted on her page and other brands as well. So,
and that's actually how we got reposted by the Jungalow, which has over 6,000 followers. this wallpaper is, I'm sorry, 600,000.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said the right time.
Yeah.
The first time, but
a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it's more than 6,000. So I think just from them reposting a picture of our salon, I mean, we had people reaching out and wanting to put the photo in magazines, and it can be really powerful.
Yeah, that's part of that, like going viral. All the time, people be like, "What is going viral mean?
Yeah,
how do I make it happen?" I mean, hashtags are a great way to kind of tap into some of the bigger followings.
Yeah.
And if anyone's confused on how hashtags work, because believe it or not, I get that question all the time.
Sure, yeah.
Hashtags, you can click on them on Instagram and they open up every single photo that has that hashtag on it. So it's really a way to like curate albums. I like to kind of explain to people around that one hashtag.
Yeah.
So there are people like me that get down on like hashtag rabbit hole and just search one after the other and look into it. So that's kind of, the use there.
And for your business, you want a unique hashtag. You don't want your hashtag line to be something that everybody else uses. Otherwise, people can't search for your content. And the great thing for our clients and followers or anyone interested in Milk Bar, if they click on that hashtag Milk Manny, it should be all content from Milk Bar and manicures that have happened here. And we've had a couple that are like inspo, shout outs from people that don't live here, but they like our concept. So that's cool too.
I mean, which is great because you will in your market kind of hit a plateau of having people who are on Instagram join you. So it's great when people from other cities and markets will repost you and start following you too, especially because this is such a good vacation spot.
We have a lot of Australian followers.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's another thing you can see on your insights too, is where everyone's located.
Yeah.
So, it's really neat. Any other Instagram tips for us before we segue?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, send your questions if you have them on Instagram or really about anything that you might want to ask us. What we're going to segue to now, though, is it's National Women's Business Week. So I feel like I would be remiss not to ask you while we're sitting here, let's have a little bit of real talk about being a woman business owner. Hey, Nikki, see you joining on Instagram. So talk to me about, starting your business, struggles you may have hit that you want to share, anything that can kind of help another fellow woman business owner out.
Yeah. I will say for me, I've had a lot of support as a female business owner. I've been really kind of surprised by it. People have actually reached out to me like on our opening. The other businesses sent flowers that I'd never even met these people. And that was the most encouraging thing for me to see. And it really surprised me. So I felt a lot of love. I worked, just to kind of like go backwards, I worked with a female commercial real estate agent because there really aren't that many females in that industry. And I felt like, she would get what I needed and what I was looking for. Her name is Vitre Ravenel, and she did a great job helping me find the perfect space. So I've worked with, not that I'm opposed to working with men, both attorneys I've worked with are males, some females
and let's
too.
be honest, we all need our husbands and men supporting us behind us. But,
my accountant is a man. So, but I've worked with a lot of female-owned businesses as well. So Megan asked a question, what's the best scheduling app for Instagram?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I want to know this too, because I've tried to, and I cannot seem to get them to work.
Yeah, so first I always like to tell people as far as apps and scheduling to Instagram, so Instagram's API is closed on the back end. So Instagram is very, very strict about they want to stay the app that inspires you with photos. And so they kind of feel like if they were to have scheduling like Facebook has, that it would take that away, that kind of in-the-moment inspiration. But let's be real, there's so many people planning things out and not doing
a month in advance.
So we need scheduling tools. So if there's a scheduling tool that says it can post to Instagram for you, like you schedule it and you don't have to ever touch it again, don't use it because it's against Instagram's terms and conditions. They don't let outside apps post for you. There's some that are getting under the radar and have been getting under the radar for a while. But Instagram is shutting down accounts that
I wonder
are
if that
linked
can
to them.
hurt you in the algorithm too.
It can.
If you post with one of those apps,
Yes.
and it's one that's not approved by
Yeah.
Instagram.
Exactly.
So,
and they will
Noted.
completely shut down your account. Like, you will lose all your content.
Oh,
You won't get it back
wow.
up and running. You might lose your name.
I've seen account shutdowns happen
Yeah.
to a couple business
Yeah.
owners, and I mean, talk about scary. Maybe even go
Yeah.
into like all the things of what not to do
Yeah, I know.
with that.
I know.
But do you have an app that you
So
recommend?
I've used Hootsuite before, which is kind of the grandfather of the industry, I guess you could. They've been
Yeah.
around forever. And then Planoly, I think, is just beautiful. Have you
Okay.
used
I haven't
Planoly?
yet. Yeah.
Okay, so Planoly will actually show you what your grid will look like on Instagram. So if you schedule, let's say, like 6 posts in a row, it'll show you how those 6 posts are going to show up. And why that's helpful is because if you post a photo, you've got your 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you post a photo and you have 2 photos that are pretty similar, like your floral wall, for example, you might not want this stacked on top of each other.
True.
You may want them just off a little bit to show kind of the mix of everything that you have going on. So I love Planoly for that because they do kind of show you what that grid is going to look like. Katie mentioned it before. I think people are getting away from being like all pink for like 9 photos and then all blue for another one. But if that is something that's important to you, go ahead and use Planoly to try and figure that out. And how those apps work is you kind of get a notification on your phone. So you get your content in there, you get your photo or your video, you get your copy in there, and then you click the date and the time that you want it to post, and you get a notification on your phone. And it just says, hey, it's time to post to Instagram. And as long as you've connected it right, which it helps you set it up, so don't be intimidated by that. As long as you've connected it right, you hit, great, publish to Instagram, and it opens up the Instagram app for you. And then you just kind of click next, schedule, or post.
With that app, can you put in like line breaks? Because that's one thing that's really, I wish there was an app for that, and maybe there is. Doing the line breaks is the most annoying thing about Instagram for me.
Yeah, and so what Katie means is like hitting enter, essentially. You can't leave space. Instagram natively doesn't let you do that.
It wants you to do one big paragraph, which always does not look pretty.
The answer is yes. It does let you do that.
Okay.
But you do sometimes, like, always go back, you guys, and check your pictures after you post them. Because sometimes you never know if when you've hit paste, if you've accidentally deleted a space or like moved a period somewhere or done something funky that's going to like mix all of it up. And also remember that everybody has a different device. So usually for Instagram, everyone's on mobile, but just remember everybody's screen is different. So like I know I had a client who's really anal about like where her sentences broke and like words being separated and emojis and things like that. You just kind of have to like chalk it up and just let that go a little bit.
I've had to let that go.
It's gonna
bothers
look
me, but it's a time suck. You can definitely go down a wormhole with getting that stuff right.
So Catherine, the name of that app is Planoly, Planoly. Planoly is the one that I love for Instagram.
And it says, so Nikki said she loves it.
Yeah, so. I love Planoly. And then that one is pretty specific to Instagram. Hootsuite and other apps will let you kind of publish to all of the different platforms that are out there. And then Tailwind is a great one for Pinterest, if that is one of interest. And Tailwind just added posting for Instagram. To be honest, I haven't tested it yet with Tailwind, but they're great for Pinterest. So I'll be interested to see kind of, how they do with Instagram posting. So, all right, guys, any other questions? Have we had any other questions? I think scheduling one. Yeah, I think we've kind of answered them as we've come through. So thank you guys so much for joining us. It's National Business Women's Week.
Say that 10 times
I know,
fast.
right? I feel like I have this whole week. And there's a hashtag for it, you guys, so make sure to use it. Facebook will live forever on the Pink Ink Palm Facebook page, so feel free to watch from the beginning if you joined us halfway through. Please share with your friends if you think this information has been knowledgeable. Comment with any questions you might think of after the fact or about something that we talked about earlier. Instagram will live for 24 hours, so feel free to watch that on our stories and DM me any questions that you might have. And I just thank you guys for joining us. And finally, just wanted to say, Katie, thank you.
Thank you.
How does everyone book an appointment here? And tell us everything you have going on.
Yes, so the best way to book an appointment is through our website. We even have the appointment booking tool linked on the Instagram page, which I struggle with that because I would love to put different content there. But we just have so many people that have questions about booking. As we expand, we won't be able to do that because, you know, we'll have more than one location, which is a whole other topic. But, you know, right now we have the booking tool on our Instagram homepage. And then, what was the other question? Oh, events.
Yeah,
so,
what's coming up?
This October has been crazy. We've had so many trunk shows.
Else had a crazy October.
Yeah,
you guys,
I need a vacation.
It's been insane. I don't know if you guys are feeling that as well, but
yeah, I think a lot of people are. It's just been busy,
so
and I think there was a lot of making up to do after Irma and then Labor Day and the eclipse. We had a lot of downtime in September, which is tough on small business. So I can see a lot of people
getting a lot of yeses.
So we're making up for it in October. But October 26th, so next Thursday, we have an event right now. There's a waiting list. It's an event that will be held here at Milk Bar. You can email us to request your spot. It's a complimentary event. You email hello@milk.bar.
And we'll put that in the comments on Facebook so you guys can have that information.
So that event is called Detox Shop and Glow. We're going to have some green shots from Cocktail Bandits. Great for all of you pregnant people out there. So non-alcoholic beverages. And then we'll have mini manis and that will involve some skincare. We'll have an exclusive package that we're going to be introducing. It's a collaboration with Hummingbirds and Wash with Water.
Love them both. That's awesome.
So stay tuned for that. And hopefully we'll see a lot of y'all there. And then that same night, I'm sending some of my team to Skinny Dip. It'll be our second girls' night out with Skinny Dip.
They're so fun.
And we love Skinny Dip. So we'll be doing mini manis there, and that'll be a fun girls' night out as well. So
that's the 26th.
Which one you want to come to?
Thursday. It's Skinny Dip and here at Milk Bar. We'll put that email address if you want to request to come to the one here at Milk Bar.
No.com. Just hello@milk.bar.
hello@milk.bar, and we'll put that below. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Yay! Well, thank you guys again so much for joining.
Thanks,
and thank
everyone.
you to those that are tuning in after the live. I know not everyone can make it at noon during the day, so I appreciate you tuning in afterwards. And thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Always good to see you.
All right.
Thanks,
bye, you guys.
everyone.
Thank you for joining.